Hey, hi, welcome back to Navigating Senior Care with Stella. I'm your host, Stella Herrera Williams, and today we're doing something a little different. Episodes 16 and 17 are connected, so I'm running them together as one deep dive episode. This is all about the details, how to evaluate a community through virtual tours if you can't visit in person, and equally important, how to spot red flags that might not show up in marketing materials or even tours. So, episode 16 and 17 combined virtual tours, what to look for, plus red flags in senior care facilities. Whether you're doing a virtual tour, a video call, an in person tour, or reviewing photos online, you need to know what you're actually looking at. And you need to know what signs suggest you should keep walking. All right, here we go. Not everyone can visit a facility in person. You might live out of state, you might have health issues, you might want a second look before committing to travel, or you might be doing preliminary research to narrow your list. Virtual tours are becoming standard now, and they can actually give you a lot of information if you know what to look for. The thing about virtual tours, though, they're professionally filmed. They're showing you the best version of that community. The video is edited, the lighting is good, there are no waiting residents in the hallway. Everything looks intentional. So when you're doing a virtual tour, your job is to look past the production and actually see the place. Okay, you're watching a virtual tour video. Here's what you're actually looking at. The residents you see. How many residents do you actually see on camera? Are they engaged? Are they smiling? Are they interacting with staff? Or are they just sitting? If the tour is showing you activity, are the activities actually good? Is someone doing art therapy or just coloring? Is there actual engagement or just busy work? For memory care, do you see residents who appear confused or agitated? How do staff interact with them? Are they gentle, patient, respected, or does it look like behavior management? Now look at the space, the hallways. Are they clean? Do they look institutional or homey? Are there resident art or photos on the walls? Does it feel lived in or sterile? On the common areas, do spaces feel open and engaging or cramped? Is lighting bright enough or is it dark and depressing? Are spaces accessible for people with mobility issues? In the outdoor space, can you actually see outdoor space? Is it just a small patio or is there a real outdoor area? For memory care, how is it secured? Can residents safely wander or is it fenced in a way that feels like a cage? In the dining areas, can you see dining happening? Does the food look good? Are residents eating together or alone? For the staff, how many staff do you see in relation to residents? If this is a memory care community and there's one staff member visible with 5 residents around, that's a ratio issue. Do staff seem calm or stressed? Do they engage with residents or just do tasks? For memory care specifically, do you see staff using validation or de escalation techniques, or do they seem to be just managing? For the details, look at the small stuff. Are rooms personalized or institutional? Can you see family photos, personal items, or is everything generic? Are areas wheelchair accessible? Are bathrooms visible and do they look safe? Is there a cleanliness, like actual attention to detail, or does it look clean at a distance but dirty up close? What they're not showing you, this is equally important. A virtual tour is curated. What's missing? Did they avoid showing medication management areas, kitchen, staff areas, isolation rooms? Did they show bathrooms, bedrooms, or just common areas? If something feels like it's being hidden, ask about it directly. Can you show me? And then see see how they respond. Okay, so you watched the video. Now supplement it. Read their website carefully. What's their mission statement? Do they focus on engagement and quality or on management and care? Language matters. What programming do they describe? Is it detailed or generic? Can you see their activities calendar? How do they describe staffing? Do they talk about training, retention, ratios? On Google Street View, seriously, use Street View to look at the exterior. When was it last updated? Does the building look maintained? Is the landscaping cared for? Can you see the parking lot? Do staff parking and visitor parking exist? Is it full or empty? Timing matters. Is it in the middle of the day? Search for reviews and complaints. Google reviews, caregivingsupplies.com, carecenter.org, state regulatory databases. Look for patterns. One complaint might be one person. Multiple complaints about staffing, cleanliness, or neglect, that's a pattern. Read the recent complaints specifically. Are they new, recent, or old? Old complaints might have been addressed. Recent complaints are current issues. Check regulatory records online. Texas Health and Human Services website. Look up the community. What's their compliance status? What violations do they have? When? How serious? Do not dismiss all violations. Some are paperwork, some are serious. Learn the difference. Call and ask specific questions. Don't just book a virtual tour. Call and ask. Can I speak to current residents or families about their experience? Can you provide references from families who have residents currently there? What's your current staffing situation? Any vacancies? What's your process if my parents need change? Have you had any regulatory violations in the last 2 years? If yes, can you explain what happened and how you fixed it? Their willingness to answer these questions honestly matters. Now we're getting to the hard part because some things you see or don't see are serious warning signs. I'm going to walk through red flags from most serious to still serious. If you see any of these, I want you to pause and really investigate before proceeding. Red flag level 1, safety and welfare critical. Residents look neglected or abandoned. Unwashed residents, stained clothing, sitting alone all day with no engagement, hair not combed, fingernails not trimmed. These are signs of neglect, not depression, not medication side effects, neglect. If you see this in the virtual tour or during a visit, you walk away, period. Evidence of abuse or harm. Residents with unexplained bruises, residents who flinch when staff approach, residents who seem afraid, residents who cry frequently without comfort. These are signs of abuse. This is serious. Walk away and report it. Severe understaffing. One staff member with 8 or more residents in memory care. That's not just suboptimal, that's unsafe. If you see a clear understaffing, ask about it directly. If they don't have a good explanation, walk away. Red flag level 2, quality of life compromised. No engagement or activities. You visit or watch a virtual tour and residents are just sitting, not participating, not engaged, just warehouse. Some residents will naturally be less engaged, but if most residents look disengaged, that's a community that's not prioritizing quality of life. Memory care that doesn't understand dementia. If you ask about their dementia care approach and they talk about behavior management, or keeping residents calm instead of validation, engagement, and person centered care. They don't understand dementia. Dementia care done well allows people to be themselves. It engages rather than sedates, it validates rather than corrects. If a memory care community can't explain their person centered approach, that's a red flag. Physical safety concerns. Doors that should be locked aren't. Outdoor areas that aren't secured. Stairs without rails. Bathrooms that aren't accessible, fire safety concerns. Ask about safety directly. How do they prevent falls? How do they prevent elopement in memory care? What's their emergency plan? If their answers are vague, that's a red flag. Red flag level 3, operational red flags. High staff turnover. If more than 50% of their staff turns over annually, that's a problem. Residents who don't have consistent caregivers, quality suffers. If you notice in the virtual tour that staff aren't present, like you see different people in different sections of the video but not consistency, that might indicate a turnover. Ask directly. Unwillingness to answer questions. If you ask a question and they get defensive, avoid the question, or make you feel stupid or for asking the question, that's a red flag. Good communities want family questions. Defensive communities have something to hide. Frequent regulatory violations. If they have multiple violations in the last few years, especially recent ones, ask what happened and how they fixed it. One violation might be a one time mistake. Multiple violations suggest a pattern. Red flag level 4, financial red flags. The cost seems impossibly cheap. If memory care is $3,500 a month when everywhere else is $6,500, ask why. Sometimes it's because they're small and new. Sometimes it's because they're cutting corners on staffing, supplies, or care. Be suspicious. Investigate. Hidden costs. If the community can't clearly explain what's included and what costs extra, that's a red flag. Good communities have clear pricing. If you have to keep asking follow up questions to understand the cost, something's off. Pressure to sign quickly. If they're pushing you to commit before you're ready, if they're saying we only hold spots for 48 hours, if they're creating artificial urgency, that's a red flag. Good communities have a steady flow. They're not desperate for your business. Red flag level 5. Communication red flags. They avoid letting you speak to current residents or families. If you ask for references and they refuse or make it very hard, that's suspicious. Good communities encourage you to talk to current families. They're proud of their residents' experience. Website or materials have grammatical errors, look dated, or seem unprofessional. This might seem superficial, but attention to detail matters. If their web presence is sloppy, it might indicate sloppy operations. They give you different information at different times. If you call and get told one thing, then visit and are told something different, that's a red flag. Consistency matters. If they can't keep their story straight, something's wrong. Okay, so you've done a virtual tour, supplemented it with research, and now you're combining that with either another virtual interaction or an in person visit. Here's how you synthesize. Does the virtual tour match reality? Did they show you common areas in the video that look different in person? Do residents look the same, engaged or neglected, or has something changed? Does the video represent the community honestly, or was it misleading? You're looking for internal consistency. If a community is honest and doing good work, the virtual version and the real version should match. If there's a big gap, if the video looks great but the place looks run down, or if the video looks professional but nothing is where they said it would be, that tells you something. Here's what I want you to know. You don't need to be an expert to spot red flags. You need to be honest with yourself about what you're seeing. If something feels off, it probably is. When I was evaluating communities for my mom, I did a virtual tour of one place. The video was beautiful, professional, impressive, but something felt off. I couldn't put my finger on it, so I called and asked to speak to a current resident's family. They wouldn't let me. Red flag. I called back and asked specific questions about staffing. They got defensive. Red flag. I asked about their dementia care approach. They talked about management and keeping residents comfortable rather than engagement. That's a red flag. I never even visited in person. I just moved on. Months later, I heard that the community had a serious incident and a resident got hurt. An investigation took place, and what came to light was staffing issues. I'm glad I trusted my gut. Your gut is reading subtle cues. It's noticing things your conscious mind might miss. If your gut says something's wrong, investigate before committing. Okay, what do you do with all this? Step 1, make a red flag checklist. Print or write down the red flags from today. Use them as your evaluation rubric. Step 2, virtual tour plus supplemental research. Watch the virtual tour actively. Google them, read reviews, check regulatory records. Step 3, ask direct questions. Call, ask the hard questions about staffing approach, philosophy, references. Step 4, talk to real people. If possible, talk to current residents or families. Ask them real questions. Listen to their answers. Step 5, trust your gut. If something feels wrong, investigate more. If you're still feeling, some type of way about it, keep looking. Step 6, make your decision. When you find a community that passes your red flag checklist, has good operational indicators, and your gut says yes, move forward with it. Next week, episode 18, building your care team, because choosing a facility is just the beginning. You're building a team of people who support your parents' care, and you need to know how to coordinate that. That's the season finale, and it's going to bring everything together. But before you go, don't skip the red flag evaluation. Don't get seduced by a beautiful building if the care isn't there. Don't ignore your gut. Your instincts are usually right. If you're navigating this in Central Texas, I'm here. Williams Senior Transition Services. You can go to my website, StellaWilliamsTX.com, or go to tourseniorliving.org and search communities in and around the area 24/7. I help families evaluate communities, spot what's real, and find the right fit. That's what I do. Thanks for tuning in to Navigating Senior Care with Stella. Keep advocating, keep asking questions, keep trusting yourself. Y'all be blessed.